On the morning of 31 May 2014, a call was made to the police in Waukesha. A young girl had been found lying in the woods, struggling to breathe. She was 12-year old and her name was Peyton Leutner. She had been attacked. When paramedics arrived, they discovered she had been stabbed multiple times. Peyton was rushed to the hospital, where doctors worked quickly to save her life. They later said it was a miracle she survived. But the real shock came when investigators asked who did this. Peyton's answer was unexpected. Her two best friends, Annie Xavier and Morgan Giza. The internet's darkest myth. Anissa and Morgan were not acting on their own, or so they believed. They claimed they had been forced by something they thought was real. His name was Slender Man. Slender Man is a character that started a part of an internet story shared in 2009 on a website for scary photos and creepy tales. He is described as a tall, faceless figure dressed in a black suit. People say he can control minds, make people do things they would not normally do, and even harm them if they do not obey. Slender Man has become a big part of online culture, with many people writing stories about him and even making movies. He is a fictional character, but in this case, Anissa and Morgan believed he was very real. They thought if they did not follow his order, he would come after their families. How it all started. Morgan Geezer was a quiet girl, often keeping to herself. She did not have many friends, but she was close to Peyton, who had been her friend for years. In 6th grade, Morgan met Anissa Weir. Anissa, like Morgan, did not have many friends either. They bonded quickly over their love of strange, creepy stories, especially the ones about Slender Man. As their interest in Slender Man grew, something changed in Morgan and Anissa. They started to believe the stories were real. Morgan even told Anissa that she had seen Slender Man in real life when she was younger. Together, they started to research him more and more. Soon, it was not just a hobby, it became an obsession. Morgan became convinced that in order to protect her family from Slender Man, she had to prove her loyalty to him. Anissa agreed, and they believed there was only one way to do that, by making a sacrifice. And their target was their friend Peyton. The day of the attack. On 31 May 2014, the three girls had a sleepover. It seemed like any other day. They played games and laughed together. But the next morning, things took a dark turn. Morgan and Anissa had already decided what they were going to do. They led Peyton into the woods, telling her they were going to play a game. But instead, they attacked her. Morgan, with the help of Anissa, stabbed Peyton multiple times and then left her there. But Peyton did not give up. Despite her injury, she managed to crawl out of the woods to a nearby road, where she was discovered by a passing cyclist. She was rushed to the hospital and survived. She had been stabbed 19 times. The investigation and trial. Morgan and Anissa were quickly arrested. When asked why they did it, Morgan calmly said it was because Slender Man told them to. The trial that followed shocked the nation. People could not believe that two 12-year-old girls could plan something too terrible. Because of the seriousness of the crime, both girls were tried as adults, even though they were so young. During the trial, it was revealed that Morgan was suffering from a mental illness. This condition made it hard for her to tell what was real and what was not. Both girls were sentenced to time in mental institution instead of prison. They will remain there for many years to get the treatment they need. The impact of Slender Man. This case made many people think about the power of stories and how the internet can influence young minds. Slender Man was never meant to be real. It was just a story created for fun. But for some, it becomes something more. The internet is full of stories and ideas, but not everything on it is true. And sometimes those stories can blur the line between fiction and reality, especially for people who are already struggling. The Slenderman case is a reminder of how important it is to understand the difference between fantasy and reality. Today, Peyton was recovered and is moving forward with her life. Both physical and emotional will always remain. Anissa and Morgan are receiving the help they need, but the story of Slenderman and the power it held over them serves as a chilling reminder. Sometimes stories can become more than just stories. Slenderman may not be real, but the consequences of believing in him were very, very real.